2022 has been memorable in more ways than one. In a year which saw the retirement of two of the game's all-time greats in the person of Serena Williams and Roger Federer, we were also given a glimpse into the future with the rise of Carlos Alcaraz. Today we are discussing some of the best ATP matches of the year featuring some of the best players around. Stay with us. Let's get straight into it then with Carlos Alcaraz up first. There's no doubting that the fact that Carlos Alcaraz is going to be a star. Having already won the US Open at the tender age of 19, he has also been involved in some thrilling matches across his young career so far. Earlier this year, he took on Serbia's Miomir Kekmanovic at the Miami Open, defeating him 6-7, 5, 6-3, 7-6, 5 at the quarterfinal stage. Alcaraz shone throughout the season, but this was certainly one of his best performances as he came from a set down to knock Kekmanovic out on the way to his first ATP Masters 1000 title. Deep in the final set, the Spaniard was just 2 points from being knocked out on 3 separate occasions, but each time he showed his mettle to battle back and also proved he could hold his nerve at crucial points. He showed his adoring fans that explosive power, which he has become synonymous with during his fledgling career so far, whilst mixing in some deft drop shots. And speaking about his game plan after the match, Alcaraz said, "I'm trying to hit the ball hard to push the opponent off the baseline," before adding, "The drop shot is good for me. I have confidence with that shot. In the tough moments, you have to hit the best shots you have." Something tells us that when we look back at Alcaraz's career in a couple of decades, there might be more than a couple of these sorts of performances, right? Next up, we have Novak, so stay right here. One of the game's all-time greats, Novak Djokovic has won it all, and he showed his class once again during the Rolex Paris Masters earlier this year as he defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas 6-2, 3-6, 7-6, 4 in the semifinal. The Serbian was in excellent form coming into the match and had won his previous 12, also bagging the top prize in both Astana and Tel Aviv along the way. And he would make it 13 straight against the Greek as he put on a sensational performance to smash 36 winners as well as 12 unforced errors. Although he dropped the second set, Djok wouldn't face a single break point in either the first or third. He showed his experience when faced with adversity in the final set as he dropped a mini break. However, they don't call him one of the greatest to ever do it for nothing as he stormed back to win 4 straight points to seal the win. Djokovic has become somewhat of a boogeyman for Stefanos of late as the Greek hasn't beaten him since 2019, and after the match, Novak was humble in victory, saying, "It's very sweet when you win matches like this against one of the best players in the world." However, Novak wouldn't have it all his own way as he came up against a rampant Holger Rune in the final. What did you guys make of the semifinal? Another Carlos Alcaraz match is up next. Stay tuned. This one didn't go the way you think. However, the young Spaniard came unstuck against a brilliant Lorenzo Musetti in the Hamburg European Open final. Musetti won the first set 6-4 before dropping the second on a tiebreak, but he got back to dominant ways in the third to also take that one 6-4. Musetti has also been touted as a future star of the game, and it's easy to see why, as this one was full to the brim with quality. The win was that Italian's first ATP Tour title, but you wouldn't have bet on him coming into the tournament as he had lost 6 straight. The match was a superb back and forth, but Musetti always seemed to be in control, and he even let 2 championship points slip at 5-4 in the second. However, it didn't matter as he didn't let the disappointment affect him. He was aggressive throughout and kept Alcaraz guessing by mixing up his shots nicely. Of course, he benefited from Carlos not being at his best, but Musetti should be credited for not allowing him to get into his groove. After the match, Lorenzo explained that he was really upset at letting those match points slip, but he didn't let it affect him, saying, "I didn't expect the win after all this roller coaster, so I'm super happy to be here and to be the champion." Who is your favorite up-and-comer? We're talking about Rafa next. Stay with us. Arguably the greatest to ever do it and the record major winner, Rafa Nadal, reminded us all why we love him so much in his third-round match with Belgium's David Goffin at the Mutua Madrid Open this year. Of course, Nadal often waits for the Madrid Open tournament to show off his best bits, as he has now won the event 4 times since the transition to clay back in 2009. He didn't have it all his own way against Goffin though, as the Belgian forced Nadal to show the world what he was made of. After cruising through the first 6-3, Rafa appeared to take his foot off the gas and let a 5-3 lead slip in the second. Goffin raced back to level the match, playing some of his best stuff and saving 2 match points along the way, winning 4 straight games to take the second 7-5. The third produced some nail-biting stuff as we went to a tie-break with both men retaining serve. Nadal would also have 4 match points in the third before sneaking past his opponent 7-6, 9. After the match, the legendary Spaniard would claim that 3-4 workout was actually good for his physical performance, before adding, a very important victory, saving match points. That gives me confidence. Superb. What was his best match of the year in your opinion? Yet another Carlos Alcaraz match is coming through now. Don't go anywhere. It seems as though the youngster has been involved in some absolute thrillers this year, none more so than his Mutua Madrid Open semifinal against Novak. He managed to edge out the Serbian great 6-7, 5, 7-5, 7-6, 5, having previously beaten his countryman Rafa Nadal in the quarters. The match is actually the only time the pair have met to date, and Alcaraz showed what he was all about as he fired 51 winners, more than double the amount Jock managed. Novak couldn't cope with the aggression on show from Carlos, who also managed to utilize the drop shot superbly. He showed his maturity by winning more points than his opponent in both offensive and defensive positions, whilst also saving 5 of the 6 break points he faced. Some will have looked at the matchup as a kind of symbolic passing of the torch, and although Djokovic didn't roll over for the Spaniard, it is clear for all to see that Carlos Alcaraz is the next big tennis superstar. Speaking about his epic battle with the 21-time major winner shortly after, Alcaraz claimed that he didn't know what the difference between them as the match was so close. He went on to add, "He had the chances to break my serve at the end of the second set. In the first set as well, it was so close in the tiebreak." Did you guys enjoy this one? And finally, it's Carlos versus Jannik. In a year full of superb matches, Carlos Alcaraz took on Jannik Sinner at the US Open, providing not just one of the best matches of the tournament, but one of the best in the entire year. 2 of the sport's brightest young stars battled it out as Alcaraz was on his way to the US Open glory, but Sinner didn't make it easy for him. After taking the first set 6-3, Jannik came storming back into it to take both the second and third sets 6-7, 7, and 6-7. However, Alcaraz again showed that level-headedness and refused to panic, picking up the final 2 sets 7-5, 6-3. The match was an absolute thriller and lasted more than 5 hours as neither man wanted to let any point go cheaply. It was one of those matches that occasionally drops by in the big tournaments where each shot and point appears better and more important than the last. Clearly exhausted after the epic encounter, both men can take enormous pride in their performance, but ultimately, one of them had to walk away as the winner and the other the loser. We're sure to see these two run it back multiple times over the next few years. As always, thanks for dropping in on us today, and remember to swing by again next time for some more big reveals. And why not do us a big favor by liking and sharing today's video, whilst also subscribing to our channel so you don't miss out on more great bits in the future. Bye guys!